Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
afternoon, good morning, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting rendition of the Alpha X Junior Championship Series. Today, we're going to have a series of fantastic games going for you, and I hope you guys are ready for them. And you know what? We're not even going to waste some time. You can see it over there. We're already in the lobby ready to go because I know you guys came here for some StarCraft. Right now, we're going to have a GM versus a Masters player, Eric Fire versus Ghosty. And this is going to be an epic PvZ series. These guys have worked very hard to get to where they are, and I am sure they are ready as well to bring you some fantastic gameplay. Our first map is going to be on Everdream, one of the newer maps in the pool. And also, I hope you guys are ready for it. Looks like the chat is all set up as well. So thank you to all the guys behind the scenes who are doing a fantastic job. And yeah, we're just kind of waiting for the game to start up here. Got a lot of great StarCraft for you guys today. If you haven't checked out, there's also the MVP Cup coming up today in a little bit. But before we talk about any of that, I think you guys want to see what's in that window over there. So spawning down here in the bottom position, he's red and he is raring to go. It is Arog Fire. And his opponent in the top position, looking good in his yellow visage. It is Ghosty. You know, this is Europe, the European servers. So when I think Ghosty, I think of those really good potatoes you can get in Switzerland called roasties. And that's just what the Ghosty name kind of reminds me of here. But before any of that making you guys hungry, we're going to see some very nice little start here. Nothing too fancy out of these guys, just going to get a normal probe timing here, as well as a really normal spawning pool. Neither side really going to be going aggressive in this first game. It is a best of 5, so there is plenty of time for that kind of aggression. And overall, you just don't want to show your hand too early in the series. So this probe actually taking a lot of hits here, trying to get some little delays. Nice, but, you know, not too impactful in this game. But let's talk about the map for a couple of seconds here. Obviously, in the middle, we have a very big choke point, which just makes it so that you will have to essentially go around the corners of the map in order to get good, solid engagements. You can break down these rocks a little bit later on, but that is going to take a lot of time, and it is really going to delay any kind of push that you are going to be doing. So overall, you just have to be careful with where you use your army positioning. And behind all of that, we are going to see the Adept Stargate play coming out of Arog Fire. A nice, really easy way to kind of get that aggression rolling. A little bit of drone damage, a little bit of aggression early on, just to kind of keep him on his toes, maybe force a couple of safety spores, as well as kind of keeping the queens in position for that aggression. So far, Ghosty doesn't really know about this. He is not going to be sacrificing an Overlord just yet to go into it. We will have to see. It is going to be the Oracle play, like I was expecting. There's a couple of different ways that you can go, essentially, with that. Also, I apologize for that noise, because we're going to have a sponsor shout out later, so I had to get it ready. But anyway, this Adept, he's essentially just going to try and get a little scatting, kind of force those queens out of position. But the first Oracle is almost done, and the second one starts up right behind it. So even getting that second Oracle is a much more aggressive way to play this out. But behind all this, he is going to be going for that Robo facility in the background, already getting some damage done with that Larva death. And really, the Queens are going to be in position, so not much going to be happening here. We'll have to see how heavy Eric Fire goes for it, and he's actually going to get taken out. That is a huge pickoff for Ghosty right now. Losing that means you will not have vision in the later stages of the game. You really have to keep these Oracles alive, otherwise you're just in a world of hurt. Ghosty gonna be going for the aggressive third base location. This is really a nice choice if he's able to get that creep spread really rolling hardcore, because you really need that creep as far ahead of this base as possible, especially with how vulnerable it is in the low ground of the map. Third base going to be going down. Plenty here to defend against this Ling aggression, so that is going to be taken away. But, you know, Ghosty's still setting himself up pretty nicely. He could go up to that lair tech. He's doing that right now. He could get that fourth base. It doesn't really look like Eric Fire is going to be moving out anytime soon. Now we are going to see a bit of an Archon drop here. This will set him up nicely if he's able to get the damage that he wants done. As behind this, we will be seeing that charge come out as well. The Queens are in position, really does want to focus fire that Warp Prism. But right now it does look like these Archons are going to be taking out a lot of the army. Don't want to lose the Queens. But yeah, you know, now Ghosty's kind of on the back foot right now because he can't really move out for fear of that Warp Prism coming in. If that Warp Prism managed to get us a couple of good snipes, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But Ghosty, you know, he is making quite a few roaches here. We may be seeing an attack come out very, very soon. I think one of the big things to do is if you are going with such a big amount of roaches, you really need to hit early on before that immortal count starts to rise. Otherwise, you are not going to really get that much damage done. That Warp Prism just makes the micro potential way too high here. On that charge, we'll be finishing it up soon. And here we go. Ghosty gonna be moving on out. He is ready. He is raring, and it looks like Eric Fire is just gonna meet him on the low ground before he really has the forces to defend against this. Picking up the Archons, gonna lose an Immortal for that. Already some nice moves here. Now he can actually just go into this position right between the natural and the third. That's actually gonna be able to get some good damage done here. Looks like Ghost Eric not going to jump on this just yet here. He's going to have to rely on that Warp Prism. There is nothing that shoots up. But Ghosty able to just get on top of this entire army, and most of it is going down. Almost going to lose that Immortal. So much damage is done to it. And that's actually going to go down. The Archons doing what they can, but they are just going to fall as well. 4 Zealots warping in, but they are warping into their exact fate as the third base goes down. We might be seeing a tap out here soon, as there is just way too much Zerg to deal with. There we go. Ghosty takes game number 1. What an exciting first game here, showing that no matter the fancy tricks that you can do, one good thing is just to plow on through your opponent like that before they can really have what they need to defend. We're going to be heading on to our next map here, Simulacron, which is, you know, it's a very interesting map. There is a good complement of those choke positions, a lot of wide open areas that can really favor that Zerg aggression, And there's a lot of different expansion opportunities as well. You really have to defend that kind of middle position, or else you are just going to be in a world of hurt. The forward high ground positions are very nice as well because they will be a lot safer. You can kind of see what's coming a little bit cleaner, and overall, just a lot. Just a lot of different little choices that you can make on this map. So, without further ado, let's see what choices they decide to make as spawning in the bottom position. It is Aragfire. And yeah, this is the bottom position if you are in Australia, and down here in the real bottom position for all us Northern Hemisphere, it is Ghosty. So Ghosty really showed that he can really just get that damage done when he is supposed to, and he can make it very decisive. He didn't take any engagement until he could win it. And overall, I think that's the moves we're going to keep seeing out of him. I think that he is going to be doing a fantastic job of just these really hard, aggressive, one-timing pushes. But behind all of this, Aragfire, he played a very standard game there. It wasn't really anything tricky. It wasn't really something that you can write home about. I'm not I'm not blasting it by all means. This guy is much better than I am. But I think you're gonna have to kind of mix it up a little bit, be a little bit quicker on those transitions, and really just kind of get those high tier, really damaging units out a lot quicker, honestly. Aragfire, though, he still has everything he can see, but right now he might be a little bit worried. He doesn't see that third base location coming down. I don't know if he was really paying attention for the drone, so he might not know about the third base just yet. But behind this, once again, a little bit of a larger map, so Stargate is going to be the play out of him. Depth is always nice for just kind of harassing your opponent, making him think that you're gonna come in and then cancel at the very last second. Always nice to kind of annoy him, make him have to pay attention to his side of the map and not really pay attention to anything else here. It's gonna be a Phoenix first this time, just to kind of pick off the stray Overlord that's coming across the map. Maybe he can even get this one up here if he's not careful. Better be watching your back, man. Yeah, it's just going to be another Oracle here. We'll have to see how heavy he commits to it this time. As last time, he just kind of made two and then went straight into this guy. So he's not really going to be committing once again. Let's hope that he can keep it alive this time. Remember, those oracles, they're not just good for early game damage, they're also very essential for keeping an eye on the Zerg army with those revelations and the speed. Aragfire, just gonna be moving around with this guy, searching for those stray overlords, not really gonna find him. But behind all of this, he's got the Spore up, he's starting his Lair Tech, and he's going to feel plenty safe versus this. Looks like we're going to see a bit of a dive in here as that Phoenix could pick up the Queen, maybe get a few of those drones accidentally picks up the drone rather than the queen, so will have to get on out of there. Small mistakes in his micro is unfortunate. Once again, we see that Roachhorn popping down here. A huge swell of drones just kind of populate everything. From what it looks like as well, we've got only 3 extractors, so that tells me that it's not going to be Mutas or any Spire Tech. And behind this, we're going to see once again that Templar Archives, which can lead very heavily into those Archon drops. If we take a look at this Warp Prism here, it's about to warp in for High Templar. He's certainly got the gas for it. Maybe. There we go. So once again, we're going to be seeing those Archon drops. That's going to just kind of force Ghosty to stay back for a little bit longer. But the big difference is now he'll kind of know what to expect here. He knows the Archon drop is probably on the way. He's got his units in a pretty nice position overall. And it's just going to be leading into a Baneling Nest. Might be a much more committed 3-base all-in here. Gases are up on all positions just for those Banelings, I believe. So the question is, how much damage will he be able to get done when we do see that big swell? Obviously, ooh, actually, this is a lot more committed out of Eric Fire this time. He's got a big warp in, but there is plenty of Zerg here. I don't think you'll really get too much done with this, as those Archons are straying very far from the Warp Prism. There's a lot of micro potential here. The Zealots actually doing a fantastic job of zoning out those Roaches who need very close space in order to do this. No Banelings to really take out those Zealots easily. Now, the Zealots are following, and the Roaches are getting on top of the Archons, but it's not going to be enough here, as another big warp-in just going to keep forcing things back. By the time he cleans up the Zealots, there's another wave already in his face. I don't think this will kill him, as we can kind of see it's starting to lose some steam here. The Archons trying to get a little bit more damage done. Very low in shields there. You have to be so careful. But you know, that was very committed to only get 5 workers and a handful of units. Take a look at the units lost tab. It's relatively even overall. You see a lot of Archons morphing in. No Storm from our red Protoss player just yet. He might not think that he needs it, and instead just going to get those big beefy Archons. I'm loving this transition, however. As his opponent has seen the Roaches, he might just be expecting the same thing, forcing a bunch of Immortals. And then the bad thing about Immortals, you know, they got this little thing. They can't actually luck up. So with that in mind, Ghosty has a very nice army building on up. Still a lot can be said here. Eric Fire now sees the Spire. He now knows that he can start pumping those Phoenix to defend against that. But what is going to be the option for it? Might even just be there for the later stages of the game. He might not even have anything to do with it until a Hive Tech. You're going to be seeing some drops. Ooh, I really like that. The Phoenix not really in position just yet. You can see one up here, but that is easy to evade. Looks like he was planning on going for another Archon drop, just not really paying attention to that Prism. Drapalords did get scattered by that Zealot, so this is going to be interesting to see if he can actually get something done with this yet. So far, no real reaction here. The Phoenix moved out of position to get this, and he's going to go straight for the natural. There are so many probes stacked up here. Will he react? So far, not really. 11 workers going down, so he did pull them, but still a lot of damage done. Phoenix can't even pick off the queens right now. And just some big hits coming down. Now I think Ghosty is getting ready for his attack. He's already maxed out. He's got to do something with this army. Eric Fire not going to give him the chance to attack though. He's going to move right on the creep and try and force his opponent's hand in these small choke points. Hiding a lot of his army. He's going to actually go for the full 360 surround, and the Protoss does not have enough force fields to deal with this. Enough Ravagers to clean everything out, and that is once again going to be the Protoss army falling to the Zerg. Even this Warp into Zealots is going to get taken out relatively quickly. The Corruptors doing very good work versus the Phoenix, but it's not going to be enough for anything there. GG. Ghosty takes game number 2. And I would like to remind you that we got some really good sponsors today. Our big sponsors are you, the Patreons. Alessander, Merrick Slabisky, sorry that I'm butchering these, Rowan, and of course Rhetoriki for that $25 this season. I gotta thank you guys because your Patreon support is helping out tournaments like this. And we also have another sponsor. I want to introduce you guys to our friends Devour. So with real meats, creamy sauces, and excellent ingredients, you can have a meal without the hassle of having to go to the store, buy those ingredients, and overall, just eat up. Right now, I got the double chicken creamy Alfredo with amazing roast peppers in there. It's actually taking my breath away with how good it is. But you know what? There is not enough time for that. Do you know why? Because that might be some good chicken, but this is some good StarCraft, and that is always going to take precedence. So on our next map, Purity and Industry, let us check out these two legends spawning in the top left. It is our friend Eric Fire. And his opponent in the top right position, it's Ghosty, who is up to match point right now. So Eric Fire really gonna have to make some moves in order to come back in this game. Now, a couple of things to note about this map. If you haven't noticed these giant balls here, the inhibitor zones are going to really make any kind of Stargate play very difficult, although there is a very short rush distance. Now, Ghosty being on the industrial side is going to have, you know, a little bit shorter of a rush distance here. As you can see, it's not too far. Although, you do have a lot of positions where you can easily sneak a base in if you would so choose. A lot of places that you wouldn't really think to check just because you know where your opponent is. He's up here. So you got a nice gold base down here. You got some big old bases to the sides. So overall, you are going to have to be very proactive with your scouting to make sure that your opponent isn't hiding something out on the map. Now we are going to see Twilight Council play behind all of this, so we do have a couple of options for Eric Fire with it. Essentially, you have the standard blink timing, which isn't the best versus Zerg, just because lanes can get a good surround on the stalkers and they get taken out very easily. You also have the Adept Glaive build, a much more popular choice versus Zerg players. And then you have the cheeky play of DT into Archon drops. Personally, I'm excited to see where he goes with this. He's got the Robo facility down as well, so that he can, he can warp in those Adepts or Dark Templar wherever he wants with that. This Overlord perfectly hidden right now. And it is going to be DTs, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. How much damage can he get done with this? Remember, in the last couple of games, he did get a good scat out of the Stargate, so he had Spore in every position. Right now, it doesn't look like that is the case. He might be thinking there is no way that there is going to be something that he needs detection for. I would honestly like... Okay, I lied. I was trying to build a narrative, and you ruined it, Ghosty. Thank you, Ghosty. But yeah, he just has no idea that this is coming. But he does have the defenses coming on up, as well as the Roach Warren, nice and early on. So I don't really think they'll get that much done. Ghosty just showing how powerful he has been in this series. And look at that, even just gonna walk right by the Overlord. And now you do know that it is DTs because you see the Warp Prism might actually get taken out, which is huge. That fourth DT is not in, so you can only morph in one Archon. He does get surrounded, but that surround might not be the best thing for him, as 10 workers going down. Already some fantastic damage being done. But now, what else are you really going to do except get that second Warp Prism out? And just on the defense here, actually going to warp in 3 more of these guys. Not the right move, I feel, as you almost lost all of them. But now he is going to just try and see what he can get done with them. Going to lose 2 of them instantly with that Overseer overhead. And now, honestly, you got to morph him into Archons and just move on from here. You're not going to get too much more done with this guy. Archon Jump going to be coming in towards that third base. He did put it in a safer position on that high ground. Actually, just going to recall that as well. He does not want to risk losing anything here. Just looking for that big, beefy army. And I think he will be able to get up to it, as we've seen. He's just got to be careful not to get overwhelmed like he has been. Remember, guys, just because you can build a huge variety of units doesn't mean you need to build a huge variety of the units. We've seen Ghosty just doing fantastic with 2 or 3 different unit types. Now he's just using these DTs for the Archon potential. One thing we haven't really seen out of Eric Fire is getting that Storm tech, you know? I think Storm would be a nice option just because it would allow a lot more AoE. And remember, we're seeing a lot of Banelings with the Eric Fire force. Banelings absolutely melt under a thunderstorm. Eric Fire really is gonna move out once again. This is scouted, I believe, but once again, he just has a much smaller army, but he will be able to hit a good timing before there's a lot of Banelings on the field, and he's gonna have to hit it quickly, as there is still a lot of roaches with this. Eggfire Ghosty doesn't know where the attack is going to fully come from just yet, but he does have a nice surround position here if he chooses to once again, but he would need to set up for it now. Instead, he's just going to keep all his forces together and try and fight in this choke point. Enough Ravagers for those force fields is fantastic. Just trying to bait the army onto the small amount of creep there is. But Eric Fire deciding that this is just for show. He's not going to want to take this fight anytime soon. One thing that's fun to note as well, neither side really going to take advantage of this location. I think it would be kind of nice to take that place. So far the Immortals trying to get done what they can, not going to get anything done. Is going to be paying attention there. Not wanting to lose those just yet. We do see a nice run by, but the army is, you know, right there. Gonna instead go for the fourth base, which is pretty far from the third actually, so this might actually get a good cancel off. Just kind of delaying the economy of your opponent. Maybe get a couple of probes as well, and then back on off. You don't want to lose the Lings, even though they're very expendable units. Now Ghosty's almost maxed out as well, so he's gearing up for an attack. 36 more Lings on the way, as well as those Baneling drops that we saw in game number 2, plus the Spire for the Corruptors. Keep in mind though, there is no Stargate with this, so the Corruptor's not going to be as useful. Ling's going to pop off, try and get on top of this Stalker. Might actually take it out, but the Immortal takes its place. 3 more drones going down. The DT's doing some work in the back. Excellent use of those 2 DTs. And the Warp Prism actually gets taken down, so he's going to have to recall the Immortals. So just one good fight and a not so good loss on that Warp Prism, as it's going to delay any aggressive potential for him right now. Excuse me. Trying to get on top of this base, but there's nothing really here. I don't think he's really paying attention to this, but the Banelings in this one have to be careful. Might even just drop on the Zealots. I would love to see that. But before they get taken out. And this guy is pretty much under wraps here. His career is over. Although, in the main base, the Mutalisk's gonna start going to town on all of these probes. Oh no. An entire mineral line wiped completely out, and that's actually going to send the Stalkers away here, as Ghosty going to be going on the offensive. He's already out in the middle of the map. The Zealots going to be going straight for the main base, try and get what they can done. But the Mutalisk still reigning supreme. I think he's actually lost a good majority of the Stalkers he's sent against them. He's gonna try and attack into this position here, but there's just way too much overwhelming roach numbers. He's actually going to escape to the side here and actually winning this fight quite convincingly. I was not expecting that. Now the drones starting to go down all over the place. I think Ericfire has brought it back and made it a series with this one move. Mills getting taken out here. He cannot pay attention to that right now. He needs to remake this army, but I don't think it's going to be enough. A little bit of a lag spike here. Ghosty actually having some problems with that. And Ericfire takes game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. What a comeback. Just gonna find out what's going on there, but yeah, overall we still got a lot of good StarCraft today. Remember, after this series we have one more semifinal, and then after that we have a best of 7 finals, and I know that is what you guys are waiting for because the best of 7s are so good. Looks like he was listening in on his phone. Just a second, guys. I want to add something. But I hope you guys are enjoying this series so far. We still got a lot of good StarCraft in. No in-game music. I do have the music on, but it might not be showing all the time. It might not be playing all the time. I'll set it to continuous music actually, just to fix that. So now we should be getting some music in game, and you know what? Speaking of in game, these guys are in game right now. Spawning in the bottom position, it is Ericfire. And his opponent up in the top, still on match point. He needs to finish up. It's Ghosty. And just a heads up, that was not a Salty leaving. Essentially what happened is he had a disconnect. And he was trying to listen to music on his handy. So he was just having a little trouble with that. Lagged him out a little bit, I guess. And that is what happened. Certainly not Salty. He was talking, he was happy in the lobby chat. But you know, we do have a spawning pool, so talking about that, there are 8 lings on the way. You're gonna have to finish that wall as Ericfire. You need to get a Zealot just to finish it out. And this is gonna be scary for him a little bit here. Ghosty has quite a bit of aggression banked up on this, just now getting his second hatch, so it's not fully all in, but this still has the potential to do quite a bit. Couple of lings. Gonna try and bait out that zealot. If you can get into the main base, you are gonna be flawless right now. The zealot, just being very careful to not let them in. There is no speed with these guys on the way, and actually gets the zealot out of position, but the second one spawning, just hiding out back there. So Ericfire gets a bit of a break and will be able to hold this wall quite convincingly here. The Adept being forced out a lot earlier than you really wanted to, so this did delay the Nexus for a small bit, but you still have 2 Adepts coming out, so you can still go across the map and get some work done. Just getting a scout around as well, making sure that those lings are not still there. And where is Ghosty going to be going from there? He's currently behind in the workers count. If we take a look at that early income advantage, it is very heavily in Ericfire's favor. Oh, almost 300 more minerals a minute. The Adepts, though, getting caught out here. Good micro going to keep them alive and keep them from getting surrounded, but one does eventually go down here. That blink will be enough to save it. Actually cancels the blink, trying to kill off as many lings as possible. Does get a good few of them, but there's still a couple out on the map, so Ericfire can't really move out efficiently until this second shade comes out. So once again, it's gonna be that Oracle play. With the Oracle, again, you can just have that little bit of early game damage just does wonders for you versus Zerg, because once that Zerg gets up to those 3-4 bases and just an 80 drone count, you're in a lot of trouble as the Protoss player, as we have seen in the later stages of the game. Actually, he's just gonna hang out right here. He sees everything that's coming out, so that Oracle gonna have to contend with a couple of spores. Remember, you have to keep that alive. If that goes down, you're not gonna have those revelations later on. You're gonna have a harder time keeping up with the Zerg army already taking a lot of damage. You're gonna have to go towards the third base, and now you can't really get too much done with it. You've just lost so much health that it's not really going to be able to go in just effectively. Second Oracle is out, third Oracle almost done as well, so he might just stick with those 3 and then transition behind all of this. He's got the third base coming up as well. Behind this, Ghosty going to be going for what he knows. Just going to be hanging out on that Roach Tech. The Adepts trying to shade in, get what they can done, and actually they do get in, but the Queens starting to clean it up. A very good pull from the middle here. Oracle's going into the main base. There is just action all over the place right now, ladies and gentlemen. The Adepts all do go down. 2 of those Oracles almost go down as well. One of them might go down if this Queen can get into position in time. Actually will lose one of them. Enough Queens gonna force the rest of them away. 7 workers going down with that attack. I feel like for what was committed and what was lost, I don't think that was quite enough for Ericfire. But I do digress. It looks like we are going to see March of the Queens, and we might actually be seeing Ghosty go all in off the back of this. There is nothing really at home to defend here. The army count is currently 46 to 15. 14. And that number is only going to rise as the amount of Lings just flood the map. All he has is a couple of sentries. He's going to be going for those Archons in the back. He knows that this is coming now with the Queens on the slow march, but will he have enough? That Immortal not going to be done yet. And that is actually dangerously in position to those Ravager Biles. Here we go. He's going to stay in position, takes it out. That stasis trap, which is nice. One Immortal does get out, but it's going to quickly get surrounded by those Lings. He will have to micro that on back. Loses power to almost all of his gateways. And Ericfire, heavily supply block right now. He can't make anything if he wanted to. The Queens, good transfusion is going to keep those alive. And once again, the Lings just getting on top of everything. The surround is happening right about now, but that's only a couple of sentries. The Immortal goes down, and now I think this is going to be enough for Ghosty to close out the series. GG is called, and Ghosty moves on to the championship finals, which is happening right after our second semifinal match. Excellent gameplay out of both sides there. A very clean 3-1 victory for Ghosty, and I'm sure he's feeling happy about that one. Ericfire, he had a great match there, but just wasn't enough. Just gonna kick the guys from the party now and get on over to our second semifinal. Let me actually see who that is versus. It is going to be Young Yakov versus Wanna Be Byun, a TVZ. So you guys should be excited. I love this matchup, and I hope you guys do too. Yeah, if you do love this matchup, why don't you check out our Patreon? The Patreon actually supports events like this. If you check out the bot and the check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/alphaxsc2, and you can become a sponsor of events just like this. So if you check out that link, I'm sure you guys will enjoy it. Now, still kind of just waiting to see what's up. Looks like Wanna Be Byun is here, and just waiting on Mr. Yakov. Yeah, everyone discussing the win here. We are on a 2-minute delay, so it's always fun to kind of see the chat from 2 minutes ago. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening or day, depending on where you are. You know, I'm having a great day myself. The isolation is not making me go insane just yet because we have such a great and vibrant SC2 community. And, yeah, okay, there we go. Just hoping they did the vetoes beforehand, so we're not going to be talking for too long here. I'd like to remind everyone to hydrate yourselves. Make sure that you are making sure that you are properly hydrated so you don't get sick or ill. And our first map is actually going to be Simulacrum. So remember, this is another best of 5. And yeah, it's a TVZ matchup. You know, it's one of those that can be very volatile at times. We've seen periods where just Zergs get obliterated. A good example, Byun, who I'm guessing one of Byun is named after, uh, formulated a very good 3-rack sweeper strategy that just absolutely decimated Zergs. Zergs countered by just absolutely winning almost everything. But yeah, just waiting for this party to go on over. Hope you guys are having a good time. That's what I said. Once again, let's just talk about our sponsor. We have our Patreons, but we also have Devour hanging out with us today with excellent ready-to-eat meals straight from the microwave. They got rich creamy sauces, real meats, and just overall fantastic ingredients that'll make your next meal a happy one. Delicious. And yep, just getting the maps. Looks like it is Simulacrum, Dream, Nightshade, Wall. I haven't seen Wall just yet. I haven't had a lot of time to play the new map pool. So some of these maps I'm learning right along with y'all. There we go. We just got the party invite. The map border is going to be Simulacrum, Dream, Nightshade, Golden Wall, and Eternal Empire to finish things up. We got these guys in the lobby right now, and just waiting for the go-go to start. So it's going to be a TVZ, and I hope you guys are ready for this. Both these guys really high level. One moment as well. Looks like Yakov has actually requested a quick 1-minute interval before we begin. Alright, both players got the go-go, and here we go. Maybe. Alright, take a look over there. You can see that countdown timer. Up, if we got some mods in the chat, we got a bot that you need to get rid of. Okay, I just realized I was muted for quite a long time. Apologize for that, guys. Been muting myself because I'm a little bit ill and I don't want you guys have to suffer through the ill noises. The first Reaper's going to be coming out, and this is a really important time here because you do need to see what your opponent's doing. Looks like we are going to be seeing that SCV come out first, which is very good because it will allow you to see if your opponent is going for any sort of early cheese, some early aggression. Just kind of keeping an eye on your opponent because he does have a lot more early game aggression than you can really do on this map just because of how large it is. Nice, kind of just making sure that the third base doesn't go down. Bit preemptive on the extractor. He just doesn't want to lose that to the Reaper. Yeah, just delaying that third base for as long as possible, which is always nice. Behind this, we're going to be seeing a double CC build in true Beyond fashion. This is a build that Beyond loved to do. I don't think he invented it, but he did enjoy doing it. Now the Queen is going to have to clear up this position. And he may actually get that third base down very soon here, wasting a lot of minerals with that extractor. Yeah, overall, Byun is actually being pretty safe here because he does have that 3cc. He hasn't really been scouted out here, so if this does get figured out, then he could be in a lot of trouble because then you just make a ton of units and overwhelm your opponent. We'll have to see if that is the case here, as Yukov is going to see everything on the map. Sees that there is only just now a Stargate coming out. Instantly spawns 8 Lings, 14 even. Might even throw down a Baneling Nest and just go for it, which would be a very fun thing to see. Trying to hide the fact that it might be battle cruisers as well behind all this. So Byun playing very greedy with all of this. And yeah, there we see it. He's got the Baneling Nest coming on down, a large amount of Lings as well. We'll have to see if he does move across the map with it. Right now he is being held back by those Hellions and the Reaper. And the first battlecruiser is going to be on the way, so one of the big transitions behind this, it will most likely be a mech style transition. Battle mech can be quite good on this map with how versatile it is, with how quickly it moves. Tumor surprisingly survives here, but the Ling's a little bit worse for wear. Don't want to lose too many to those very big choke points. I gotta say, I do love how Yukov is just instantly respreading the creep. He's making sure that even though this aggression is limiting his vision in the front, he is just making sure that he will be able to just respread instantly. And we'll have to see the BC almost complete. He does know that it's coming. He's already thrown down that spire, keeping a couple of queens in each base as well. And there we go, the warp in going to be coming in right into the main. That battlecruiser just absolutely shredding the 2 queens that are there. No transfuse energy available. Hellions gonna just do massive amounts of damage at the 3rd base as well. So overall, this attack is just doing wonders. He's cleaned out the drone line at the 3rd. This battlecruiser is alive and raring to go, and he's even just going to pick off a couple of overlords for almost free if he can catch them. Might even just kill off all the queens. Now the queens are actually just so low that they're going to be taken out. There's almost nothing you can do against this battlecruiser. You don't have enough firepower versus it. This is absolutely disgusting if you're a Xrd player. Now on the other side of the map, these roaches are going to start cleaning things out. 4 workers going down. There's not that much on the ground, but there are 4 tanks about to pop. Even just going to bring the BC home after doing massive amounts of damage. The second battlecruiser as well going to help this out. These do take a long time to kill off the roaches just because of that armor buff. Pulling them away as well, I think that might be a mistake here. But the siege tanks are going to be enough to clean this up. 16 workers going down, so for all the damage he has taken, he's also given quite a bit. So with 18 workers down, he's going to be going into those doors. Might be expecting a corruptor switch here, as is common versus this. And might actually lose the battlecruiser just straight up there, so that is not nice. That is a very expensive unit to lose. He's going for a Yamato cannon, but I don't see him making any more battlecruisers on the map. I don't know if that's a bit of a waste here if you're only going to stay with this one battlecruiser. Scan going down, revealing the 4th base as well. So he knows that he has to do a little bit of something, but right now he's just going to play it very defensive mech. This siege tank style is, you know, kind of the generic mech style. Getting a couple of Thors to take out the corruptors. Honestly, like, I don't know if this is good for him to just stay out here. I think he needs to send some Hellions across the map to do damage, otherwise you just let the Zerg get so far ahead. Already going up to Hive Tech. He's got +2 attack on the way. The upgrades, not too bad here for Bjorn. One of the big things is for mech players, early on, you do want to kind of limit those upgrades only because you want more units. More units is always going to be better when you're playing mech than having those upgrades. The Hellions going to do a nice job of kind of clearing up the creep. Yakov already on top of it, however. He's got 2 queens geared up for that. So it's kind of just a game of cat and mouse right now. I heard a battlecruiser TP somewhere. I think it might have just been a TP home or a misclick. This army for Yakov is still very intimidating. If we take a look at that income advantage, You know, it's slightly in Yakov's favor, nothing too drastic. CJ's going to be taking out a lot of it, however. Yakov has to be careful not to fight in this choke point. He needs to get that concave. And he does abandon this position, however. For the time being, the Biles just making sure that these Hellions stay back. Going to go for the surround. Will it be enough? The Thors very exposed, but I don't think there was anything really doing on the top side here. The Hellions almost got on top of the mineral line, but they decided to stop. It's going to come down to the Blinding Clouds just doing a fantastic job. The siege tanks getting taken out in the back, but there's still so much firepower. The Thors are dead. But these tanks still get some decent trades before going down, and now Bjorn dropping to 130 supply here. Double scans going down. He's got to be a lot worried now about his Remax potential. Just a lot of scans going down for Bjorn. He is being given the position to Remax here. The Liberators, not Liberators, excuse me. The Lurker Den has been dropped, so that's going to make it a little bit easier to deal with the tanks, as it'll force those kind of front units of wannabe Bjorn to move on forward into very whittling fire here. And I think Yakov has full map presence right now, so he's feeling pretty okay. He's maxed out, and he's raring to go here. Look at this. Even going to send those Corruptors to go to this base. Remember that Corruptor? These Corruptors, the damage stacks up over time. It's just going to keep getting more and more to a point. And here we go. Once again, Bjorn trying to siege up, but a lot of these tanks under the Blinding Cloud, he's actually going to get cleaned up. Once again, his supply is just dropping. Loses a couple of those Corruptors, does Yakov, but he still has quite a bit here, and he's just moving in for the kill almost. Wants to at least get a base or two before retreating. And he is indeed going to get that first base to go down. A lot of workers dying with it. Second command center not really being used just yet, but it is going to go down as well. And behind this, Bjorn doesn't really have that income that he used to. He's staying alive with mules, but he needs to do a little bit more here. Yakov just going to take his win and back on up for right now. Those Vipers still have plenty of energy and might just be waiting for the Lurkers for his next attack here. The Corruptors as well, just trying to get that floating command center over. They will get taken out. That Thor damage just buffed immensely recently. He's got 12 Lurkers as well. Oh my goodness, Yakov, you madman. Got a ton of Thors on the way as well. I don't know if that's actually the counter to the Lurkers, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We are going to find out. Right into the siege tank line. Blinding Clouds all over the place. The Lurkers instantly drop because they do have those upgrades, and this third base location is done for. Not too much else left to say about it, as 32 workers going down. The economy is crippled. Now he's supply blocked at one. He's supply blocked at 163. It's gonna take a long time to fix himself there. Now with the amount of Thors that are on the field, again, that's just not really what you want versus this here. Yakov gonna be moving in once again past the back off. Doesn't want to take too much damage to the Hellions. Doesn't really look like he wants to engage this at all, honestly. He might just be... excuse me. He might just want to move around this army. Remember, this is a very tanky army, but it's also very, very quick to be exposed. And as you can see, once again, he's being forced back home to defend this. I don't see the Vipers with this, actually, so that's a bit of a mistake. Could get some Blinding Clouds right there, and this whole army would be shut down. Beyond wants to secure this location for this base, but this keeps running into the army like this, and once again, those very expensive units are going down. The supply is plummeting, and that is actually going to be it. Yun taps out, and game number 1. That was only one game, guys. We still have a potential of 4 more. Excellent series so far, just with that. I'm just waiting for the next lobby to open up. One sec. I just did a really bad job of covering that. I apologize, guys. But once again, we're gonna be hopping into this game. Yakov says he needs another minute. So I'd like to remind you guys to check out the Patreon page, patreon.com/AlphaXSC2. There you can support this and many other series like the Alpha Pro series, show matches. You have many MVP cups and just a lot of great content coming out of Alpha X, especially in these trying times. We all need a little bit more StarCraft in our lives. Let's take a look at some of the players here. Yakov currently doesn't have a rating, but his highest time achieved is indeed Grandmaster, and we've seen just Grandmaster level play out of him in that last game. Let's see, he's doesn't actually have a lot of games on this account. This might be a main account that he does not use. Yeah, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be Everdream for game number 2. You know, I'm liking what I'm seeing, you know? I think Bjorn needs to make a few adjustments to his build orders in order to make them a little bit more fluid. Maybe cut out some of the chaff, like he did go for that Yamato cannon very late and didn't get any BCs behind it. So that did cost him a little bit of money that could have been gone to another siege tank and the like. But yeah, overall, it was a good mech style. We'll have to see if he can continue it, but before any of that, spawning in the top position of Everdream, it's young Yakov. His opponent in the bottom. He wants to be Bjorn. He's gonna play like Bjorn. It is wannabe Bjorn. And 1 second, guys, once again. Alright, sorry about that, but yeah, we do have the spawning pool. He was going to go for the extractor, but is instead going to be getting a much faster second base with this. This kind of tells me that he's not going to commit too heavily to this. Maybe just get 1 to 2 sets of lings and send it across to kind of delay the command center and just kind of be a nuisance. I don't suppose he'll go into roaches behind this. There is that possibility of a 2-base roach follow-up. But, okay, so yeah, it is going to be 6 lings on the way. We got 1 queen just hanging out. Luckily for Bjorn, he does like to do his early scouting here. He will actually see the roaches and the lings pop out. So this is going to be scary for him as he's going to have to defend. Now this does tell him that he's got to keep the Reaper home. Right now it looks like he is actually just going to move it out and maybe go for the main base. I don't really like that because you're going to need a lot of firepower to really deal with this, and every unit has to be at home. He is searching out for those lings. They just jumped right past him. Actually going to pull some SCVs as well. The Reaper gets a surround on it, and that actually goes that down with only 1 no-lings lost. Wow. Already Yakov gets some great damage to start things off. You will not be able to rely on that Reaper anymore. The question is, will he have what he needs to defend this next stage as we have 6 roaches on the way? Oh no, dude, you need a tech lab, you need cyclones, you need something. So Bjorn, a little bit unaware of what's really coming his way here. He doesn't really have a ton of units to deal with this, and this is actually going to blindside him pretty badly. The Overlord going to be able to get that high ground vision as well, and now his heart is just stopping as he instantly pulls the SCVs to the high ground. But they get right in there, straight on top of the production. And this is not looking good for our Red Terran hopeful. Already these SCVs getting the surrounds, but they are getting surrounded by death themselves. The Hellion finally able to take out that Ravager, but these roaches will not die so easily. 16 workers going down with all this. Even if this game continues on, the economy of Bjorn has just been crippled here. Now he's getting the tech lab, but that is going to be very late for him. Roach not even dying to that. Even gets the Widow Mine here. Clutch pickoff. siege tank. Hopefully, he's thinking hopefully right now in his head that there is going to be nothing else at home to defend. And he would be right. Yakov only has those queens. A little bit of lag there. You never want to see that. This is scattered out, so the Lings might be enough to just defend this. He was just going to spend some time picking off the Overlords. Maybe try and supply block his opponent. Speed. Not done just yet, by the way. It's only just now completed. But now, here we go. Once again, these Lings gonna be streaming across the map, seeing what they can get done. That siege tank is very vulnerable. Oh no, you want that on the high ground, bud. Gonna pull the SCVs to try and repair that, but that is gonna go down very quickly here, and more SCVs are going to fall. The Marines doing a good job of just kind of stifling the damage, but once again, he has to abandon the low ground position. And we're seeing Banelings behind this, so he kind of just smells blood in the water. He thinks that Bjorn won't be able to defend the follow-up, so now he's just going to go for the killing blow in an epic fashion. No siege tanks, no medevacs. There's almost nothing here for Bjorn. He's been very greedy during all of this, just trying to get those upgrades, trying to get his economy back up. And I am very sorry, Bjorn, but you're going to be in a world of hurt here. Stim, not done yet. That's still got another minute and a half almost. And we'll see if Yakov can actually just clean up and finish this game out. Even just going for another surround, trying to pick off as many units as possible. The natural, just, I don't even think you can really hold the natural at any point here. But now the Marine count is actually starting to go quite high, so that is making things a little bit easier here. We do have that layer completed, as well as the Baneling speed on the way, so Yakov, he wasn't looking to close it out like I believed with a Baneling bust. Instead, that was just the next stage in his plan to win. Roach is going to get right on top of this. Stim is now complete, so they can fight versus the Roaches a little bit better. Has to fight outside of that siege tank range, but the Roach is actually just going to dive on top of this. That might be a bit of a mistake here, as he keeps trying to fight on creep, which is exactly what you need to do at this stage. You know, these Marines starting to get very low. He's slowly inching his way across the map, but that is actually just going to force him to retreat for now. And Yakov, he wants to just jump right on top of this. Once again, the one siege tank going down, the second one just dying off, and Bjorn, he actually just taps out there. He does not feel like he could get back into it. That means Yakov is on match point. Another very quick match point here in these two series. We'll have to see if Bjorn can turn his luck around. What would Bjorn do in this situation? You got to think hard, you got to think fast, and you have to bring it back in this next 3 games, or you are out of the Junior Championships. Just waiting for the party in the lobby. I believe we just need one more person to ready up. But once again, I hope you guys are having a fantastic evening, day, night, all depending on where you are in the world. As you all know, this is a great big StarCraft world, and we are glad that we get to share it with all of y'all. Alpha X still has some amazing tournament series coming on up, so make sure you check out their Team Liquid page, their Patreon, the Match Arena, just all of these different little avenues that you can go follow them, check them out, and just make sure that you know all the up-to-date information for everything coming up. But you know what? Right now, we don't care about those because we've got another game right over there. Loading on into Nightshade, another big map. And with big map becomes big responsibility for our Terran and Zerg player to give us a good series. Or game, rather. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, spawning down here in the bottom position, he's got a drone on the way to his opponent's natural. It's Yakov. He's a young man, and he is ready to go up against this guy who's looking to emulate a world champion by bringing it back in this series. It is Wannabe Byun. Will he get the option to is the big question. So we already have the drone doing some work. As you can hear the sirens going off in Byun's head. What is this drone doing here? And actually, he's not doing anything with it. Like, he's not turning it into a hatchery. He's not, he's not doing anything with it. He's just harassing. That's very interesting because he did spend a lot of his economy early on just to get this drone across. Every drone counts in the early game. But I guess it is enough to kind of scare your opponent into thinking that there might be something coming across the map. And yeah, a good start here, kind of just getting into Byun's head. But behind all of this, there's not really going to be anything to delay this command center. So that will go up without a hitch. And behind this, Yakov, he's just getting the kind of standard stuff you need to defend against this early Reaper. I don't think this guy is going to get too much here. As you guys know, the early Reaper is mostly just for scouting purposes. If you can get a kill or two, that's great. Kind of just makes your opponent a little bit weaker. But once again, we see Yakov going into that early Roach tech, which means that we might be seeing a very early Roach timing here, as we still do not see that third base. Byun, he knows that there is no third as well. He has scouted both of the locations, I believe. Yes, he has. Just desperately looking for it, but now he knows something is up. And there you have it. The first roaches are going to start popping here anytime now. It's going to be a big commitment out of Yakov. I already have some predictions here saying Ghosty will be the winner of the finals. Well, guess what? If you stick around after this series, you will find out. And looks like Björn might want to be sticking around in this game. He's got those Hellions for the defense. That's not really going to do too much against the Roaches. Hellions have got to focus fire down the Ravagers. The Ravagers are the linchpin in this attack. Yeah, building a tech lab, he knows that he needs a Banshee, he knows he needs something, but once again, the wall is down, which does allow Yakov to just move on in, and that's actually going to be it for this series. Björn tried to play it out in the last game, but this time he knows that he is just too far behind. GG is called. It is going to be young Yakov facing off against Ghosty, a ZVZ finals. I know you guys love to see him. And with that, we are going to go to a very quick 1 to 2 minute break while we get the next series started up, while they're getting the vetoes done. So stick around. We still have a lot of StarCraft ready for you guys. Be right back.
I don't know.
Okay.
So
So
we actually have an interview
you
with
beat him
Ghost.
again. I don't think you never lost to him in this tournament. You show a really strong ZVP. But I have a question for you. Last time it was really hard to get Yakov. How do you feel right now for this match against Young Yakov?
I'm not sure. I respect them a lot. I train a lot of ZVZ, so I'm not sure. But I will try to look comfortable.
Okay, so are you confident right now?
I don't know.
Okay. Pastor, do you have any question for? Do you have some question for Ghosty? Oh, I'm not even sure. We don't. Okay.
No, sorry, I couldn't hear anything until just now.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's
do you have
okay.
any? Okay, sorry, Pastor. So, do you have any question for Ghosty here?
No, Ghosty, you have a couple of fans hanging out for you. Do you got anything to say to them?
I don't know.
Hard question.
A bit. I don't know. But hello and shake yours. So I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Quartis had some question, I think, about your games against. So maybe let's come back to the games against Arrowfire.
Yeah, actually, I want to know the one game you lost against Arrowfire. You went like heavy on the DTs.
Yeah.
Were you surprised by that, or is it something you face a lot in ladder?
Um, I knew that he's doing it, and I was like, I was building like 6 drones for the gas, and I was like, yeah, I gonna go for the 6 drones, so I got the gas. But I think I would have done a lot better when I just would have gone like 6 roaches.
Yeah,
So
okay.
yeah, I wasn't really sure like what I should do there, so I go for the drones. But I guess the roaches would have been better there.
Okay, nice. Thanks.
How confident
Um,
were you against Arrowfire? Because tournament
I was
and
pretty confident.
you beat him every time, but when you confront him in ladder, maybe is that the same result? Were you confident against him, or
Like on ladder, he plays not much different, but sometimes a lot better. But like in this season, ZVP is going really well for me, so I wasn't really scared or so because I was practicing a lot with a good Protoss, and yeah, it was pretty nice, and I won a lot of times, so I was really confident
okay? Who did you
to win
practice
this.
with?
Fighting Frog.
Was that sorry?
Fighting Frog.
Oh, okay. Pastor, any other question?
I am very much looking forward to your next series of games versus Young Yakov, and thank you for the interview. Thank you for the interview, Ghosty.
No problem. See you.
Hi. Yeah, thanks. Okay.
All right, guys, that was our potential winner of this tournament. That was Ghosty on the line. So we are going to be continuing the tradition here as we've got this ZVZ final coming up. I'd like to remind you guys once again, we got a great sponsor for today's event. If you like just maybe you're not in the mood to cook something, if you're just a little bit tired, you just want to make something quick, we've got Devour as a sponsor, and Devour has some amazing meals that you can get that with creamy sauces, real meats, and just overall fresh ingredients. You pop it in the microwave a couple of minutes, and boom, you have yourself a feast. Just like I got right here. I have chicken parmesan with some really good red peppers. Just overall, it is delicious, it is nutritious, and it gets you everything you need to be, just overall satisfied with your meal. So check them out at our sponsored links on the Matcherino page. I don't know if this actually is a Matcherino page for this tournament. Let me check. Just checking. Alright, but we are just waiting for Jakob to get back. These guys have selected the maps in the veto pool. Remember, there are no vetoes. This is clearly just a best of 7. First of 4 will win it. And we've seen really 2 different styles here out of Ghosty and Yakov. Yakov was favoring the very early aggression, the kind of get in there, finish the game now, while Ghosty was a bit more patient overall. Getting into that late game composition. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these two matchups, uh, these two different play styles go. And I'm actually just going to disconnect from this. There's no point in me connecting to it. And both of our players are ready to go, so I hope you guys are as excited as I am for this finals. ZVZ is so big of a coin flip map, anybody can take this. And we have quite the map for it. Simulacron, a lot of choke points that you can really get some nice Banelink connections in the early game. I think I'll lose my mind if I actually see that. But yeah, tell me what you guys are expecting from this series. What you kind of want to see. I know Completely SHT is excited for his friend Ghosty to come out on top. And I know some of you are going to be cheering for Yakov as well. Just waiting for them to load on in. It looks like Ghosty might not be loading in just right. I don't know if that's me or uh-oh. Hang on, guys. I'm going to figure out what is going on here. Just making sure. So I think Ghosty may have actually crashed. Ghosty was having this problems in the first series, if you guys recall. Excuse me there. But, uh-oh. Yeah, we're just waiting on the loading. I'm just going to show you guys kind of what we're looking at. Ghosty just isn't loading. Yeah, there we go. I think Ghosty just crashed, so we'll be waiting for them to come back. Seeing what's going on in the world. Okay, so Ghosty's just restarting his computer. That'll take just a minute or two. No, like no big deal. It happens. That's the kind of problem with online cups. Is sometimes stuff like this happens. But luckily, he will be able to get back in just a minute. But yeah, CVZ, you know, it's one of those matchups where, like I said, it's kind of coin flippy sometimes, but one of the other things is it's one of those series that can go extremely quickly or very, very slowly. There almost is no in between the two. You either get those early game wins or you go straight into long drawn out games with the roaches, with some maybe some what do you call it? Mutalisks, if you so desire. Well, I apologize, guys. Like I said, I'm a little bit ill today. I'm trying to keep you guys secure from that, so you don't have to listen to it. And there we go. Ghosty is back, so you know what that means. The StarCraft will start up soon. Hopefully we can get a little bit better luck here for our friend Ghosty. Having some trouble getting the lobby in, actually, it looks like. Now it's actually Yakov who needs to accept. There we go, we got the lobby in. Oh. See, I was wondering because I wasn't getting any chat going. And I was set to only one chat channel. That's kind of funny. I was just wondering what was going on. But yeah, here we go. Looks like everybody is loading up correctly this time, and that means we can hop right into it. Sorry for the delay, guys. It happens. Not much we can do about it, but here's what this guy can do about it. He can go on to try and win it. Down here in the bottom, it is our red Zerg player, Young Yakov. And his opponent, also looking to take home the gold. Can't settle for second place after how long it's taken. It is Ghosty. For Magdeburg Esports. And I apologize if I butcher it. I am not good with European words. So far, both sides just going to be going for the very standard hatch before pool openings. Not really going to test their hand at any early game aggression. And instead, just going to be playing it a little bit standard to start things off. Remember, this is a long series for these guys, potentially. Quite a bit. It goes into every single aspect of it. those micro battles can be very intense, so you need to be prepared for it mentally. And that's what these slower starts do for you. They just kind of give you a couple of seconds before you actually have to start things up. It's kind of funny too because the different skins they're using. Ghosty is using the default skins, while we actually have the simulant skins or the Cerberus skins for Young Yakov. So it's kind of like a real Zerg Swarm versus the mechanical Zerg Swarm. I just kind of find stuff like that a little bit interesting and kind of funny in terms of just kind of how the games play out. It adds a little bit of narrative to the game. But yeah, both sides being a bit passive in the early stages, really waiting for that speed to kind of show their hand. Ghosty going up some additional workers here, trying to get up to the proper amount here, while Yakov already at 24 and going for the Baneling Nest. And actually Ghosty is going to respond with a Baneling Nest. So these guys are almost completely even here, as Ghosty is going to be the one to attempt to draw first blood by going straight for the third base. Yakov not going to react just yet to this. He doesn't actually have any lings until just now. But behind this, it's actually going to be a ton of lings coming out for him. And once speed is done, he might just go across the map and try and close things out. Remember, Yakov, he prefers these earlier games, just these very fast, aggressive timings. It's actually going to get scouted out as well by Ghosty's Overlord placement. So both sides have the Baneling Nest, and it looks like Ghosty has somewhat of a wall, not a huge one. But Yakov just going to hop right on in there, get on top of the Queen, but will back out, get those Banelings started on up. Ghosty accidentally losing some of those Banelings in the front hand. And this is actually not too good for Ghosty right now. Needs to make a lot more links, has to make sure that he takes a good engagement here, because if you don't, you are in a world of hurt. But so far, these Banelings just getting fantastic hits, does not want to waste them on the drones. And actually the entire natural is just completely exposed. Huge Baneling connections here. Gonna take out most of the lings of Ghosty, and I think I don't think it's over just yet, but we may have to see as the lings still just pouring on in. Behind this, Yakov is actually going to drone up, so it's not going to be over if Ghosty defends. And the forward Banelings just getting taken out. And still a lot of progression here. Coming on out, going straight towards the third base. 11 workers going down, so Yakov has gotten the damage that he needs. And while he's joining up behind this, you can see he's still pumping out as many lings as possible. So now his economy is just so much better than Ghosty. Ghosty, though, does manage to clean it up in the end, and might actually put on a little bit of aggression of his own. Get straight into the main base. Try and get one worker for his trouble here. That's a lot of Banelings looking to get a good connection here. Might not get it. Actually, that was pretty nice. And now Ghosty being on the defensive. He's a bit far behind. just because we do see roaches coming out for Yakov. But he might be able to get, with some good zoning, this third base, which would be a very nice pickup. Really help him get back into this game. As you can see, Ghosty fully committed to the Lings right now. He can't go for anything else right now. As well, the Roaches gonna clean a lot of this up. And behind this, Yakov on the other side of the map. That's actually gonna be it. Yakov takes game number 1, but don't worry guys, Ghosty is definitely not out of it just yet. Nowhere near. Magdeburg is a city in Germany, and Magdeburg Esports is a registered club in Germany. That's awesome. So it's going to be Eternal Empire for our next map. This is Ghosty's choice. So I think the way we're running the finals is that whoever lost in the last game gets to choose the next one, which I kind of like it because if you get to choose the map that you're comfortable on, you have a much better chance of coming back into it. And Eternal Empire might be, you know, one of Ghosty's favorite maps. So, with Eternal Empire coming on up, I'm very excited. I'm very excited for this one. We've seen the two different styles out of these two guys so far. So, without further ado, let's introduce these guys as we pause, but we can still move around in the pause. So spawning in the top position, it is Young Yakov. And Miguel had a little bit of problem with the colors. So we are going to be restarting this one with a change in color. In one moment, I apologize. I try and be professional, but I gotta respond to something real quick, otherwise there'll be issues. But we started up again. It's just going to be similar positions. So without further ado, spawning in the top in red, winning the last game, it is Young Yakov. In the bottom position, spawning in blue, it's Ghosty for Magdeburg Gaming. Spelled with a short A. Okay, so I'm mispronouncing it. I apologize. Meine Deutsch ist nicht gut. But we do see Ghosty gonna be looking for that hatchery on the other side. He's not going to be doing anything with this drone, as he does throw down a hatchery back at home, so he's not going to have the minerals for it. But Yakov actually going to be going for that pool first, so we see the different kind of styles coming into play here. Ghosty, now his goal, right, is just to delay this second hatchery from Yakov, just doing whatever he can to be a nuisance. So the big thing is, we will be seeing that those 4 to 6 lings moving across the map and just trying to do something. I don't think, essentially, with these timings, Ghosty will have to pull any drones to defend. I think he'll be perfectly fine to just wait for his own lings to come on out. This does mean that there will be a faster speed for Yakov. But again, it's not really a huge thing. Yeah, it looks like Yakov is actually just going to be moving in here, probably waiting for speed before he goes in. But now he's just going to start getting a little bit of poking, maybe trying to get on top of the queen. It's not really going to be too important for him. As you can see, he's just going to move in as well, try and get some scouting information, see what's next. But behind this, we have another difference here, a fast hatchery timing, or lair timing rather. And you know what that means. That could either mean A, Mutalisks, or B, very fast roach speed. We're going to have to watch these two gases to see what it is. So far he throw down a roach warren of his own. So possibly... So more than likely it will just be fast roach speed and everything. We do have the double extractors coming out, as well as maybe a lair soon, as neither side looks like they want to go for a third base just yet, just playing it very defensively. Ghosty probably assuming that this is another very aggressive ling speed timing attack, but yeah, like I said, we do have 3 gases, so it's gonna be roach, although Yakov. There we go, buddy. Wait. Late 4th gas, and it's gonna be Spire. Hey, what do you know? Now, Ghosty does see that there is no third base with any of this. The Roach Warren is just a feint. Essentially, what you can do is just go for like 5 Mutalisks and then pump a ton of roaches and just try and overwhelm your opponent that way. If Ghosty knows that it's Mutalisk, however, the best thing to do is attack. Just absolutely destroy your opponent with whatever you got, because he won't have much behind it. Look at that, actually going to kill off his own Roach Warren to get out. You know, just interesting little plays here from both sides. Did he actually see that Spire? Is that why he's going for one of his own? No, he's actually never gone into this. So, Ghosty, just kind of reacting. He wants Mutalisks of his own, but he's going to be very far behind in that regard. Only just now seeing the Mutalisks pop, and there will be enough to kind of defend this. The wall is complete. So now Ghosty got to be a little bit worried here, honestly. until his own Mutalisk count is up and ready to go, he's very vulnerable. These Lings, not as powerful as Roaches would have been versus this. He is doing a good job of kind of just dividing his forces up, trying to hit in multiple locations at the same time, because the Muta count is still very, very small. Yakov is on top of things though. He has got good map vision and is just doing everything he can to make sure that he sees every angle of attack. Good cancel on that base, and actually gets in here, so drones gonna start going down, really taking advantage of the mobility of the Mutalisks, forcing them to be in multiple locations at once, which you really can't do here. You can kind of see that Yakov has a couple of Roaches just to defend against this. He's not planning on sticking with those really, just because, you know, he's got a high Muta count. The Corruptors though, that's going to be able to shut this down relatively easily. Corruptors, very high energy, not energy, but health units. They got the armor upgrades as well. And Ghosty trying to get another pick off on that third hatch. He's got his own up, but he's not mining from it for right now. Sees the Spire, doesn't see much else. But yeah, I mean, not much else to say here. Ghosty has the tools that he needs to defend against this. I'm loving the Corruptors added in with the Mutalisks, just because it does allow you to take these fights while your numbers are less so. Losing one Mutalisk is Yakov. Nice pick off there from Ghosty. The question is, like, how many Corruptors is too many Corruptors? Because remember, they can only shoot other air units. So as long as Yakov stays with air units, he's fine. But if there is some sort of Roach transition, then you're going to be having a bad time. Even getting Corruptors of his own. So we are going to be sticking with the air battles. +2 attack as well. We got the armor upgrade coming out for Ghosty for these guys, just trying to keep them alive as much as possible. Great pickoffs here from Yakov, just 2 Mutas going down for free. It's all down to control right now. Looks like Ghosty wants to go up to possibly Infestors, get that fungal energy down, which would be nice as well. Yeah, overall, I just really like the moves Ghosty is making overall. Just being very out there on the map. Just making sure that Yakov can't really move out efficiently. These Banelings gonna make it a little bit harder here, but look at that. The third base is absolutely ravaged right now. 7 workers going down. He will get on out of there. Nice pickoffs. And behind this, Yakov still just not really able to get out on the map at any time. He wants to get some pickoffs here. He needs to get something done with these Mutalisks to make them worth it. But he does need to fight with the Corruptors as well. At this point, Ghosty is starting that transition into Infestors. Their energy is just going to be great versus all of this. Yakov still has that upgrade lead, but I mean, you still got to attack sometime. He's just playing it very defensively. He does not want to make a mistake here, but the more time he gives Ghosty, the less effective his army is going to be. 5 seconds to flyer attack level 2, and that is going to be the symbol, it looks like. Just looking for those easy pickoffs. Not really getting too much done here. The ground army starting to grow for Yakov as well. If we take a look at that unit count, it's currently 41 lings, a couple of banelings. Those roaches are kind of just there to hold the wall down. But here we go. He's going to jump right on top of that, wasting a fungal energy on the lings. That's something you don't want to do with that energy right now. But just good to force it out of him is Yakov. So nice little move right there. Essentially, you want to keep the fungal energy for the Mutalisks. And now Ghosty, he's going to be moving out here. Remember, he is down in upgrade. But good bait. Actually going to get some good pickoffs there. Behind this, though, losing a lot of workers in the back already. 18 have gone down. The Banelings in the third base as well, killing off a lot. And that is that means he's gutted. Unfortunately, he's down to 20 workers. He's got to do something with this, and he knows it. Trying to get this fourth base, but a good spread is going to make sure those infestors, fungal energy, doesn't do a whole lot. He's going to come back home to kill those infestors off. And the Mutalisks are going to start falling. Too many corruptors in the sky, I think. And he is just moving on in as well with a ground force. That's actually going to be it. Yakov takes game number 2. Ghosty, he's making some great moves. The transitions were nice. He's not overcommitting to certain things. Unfortunately, he just needs one more good move in order to bring himself back into it. He's still got a lot of time, but he's gonna have to work hard these next couple of games to make sure that he doesn't lose much else. Apologize for laughing, but something is happening where a plane just destroyed a hangar, and it's kind of funny. Yakov needs just a minute, but I mean, we've seen the really big difference in the two Zerg styles here. Ghosty, more secure, holds back, isn't aggressive early on. His only real big aggression with the Lings early on was after the attack of Yakov as a response to try and get that third base killed off. Yakov, very aggressive. He puts a lot into his attacks. When they don't work out, you kind of saw him stumble a bit. But he was able to kind of get that transition going, especially in game number 1, and just move on from there. But still, we have a lot of StarCraft left to play. Alright, Yakov is ready to go. And here we go. It's going to be on Everdream. So without further ado, let's check out these two guys spawning in the top position. He's down 2 games, but he is not out. Or actually, no, he's up 2 games. It is Yakov. And down here in the bottom, he's looking to bring it back. It is Ghosty. So now it's going to be Ghosty who is going to be going for the very aggressive pool timing here. Yakov, you know, he's kind of calmed down a little bit. He's like, you know what, I went really aggressive last couple of games. How about I just kind of chill out, relax, get that early economy up with the second hatch. And Ghosty's like, no, you cannot do that. I am going to destroy you. So kind of the polar opposite of the last game. So trying to hide these guys as best as possible. They will get scouted out. At the very last second, and Ghosty is committing heavily to this right now. At this point, I think Yakov kind of has to know that there's not going to be a natural behind this, so he is just forfeiting this low ground position, getting a spine crawler, or 2 of them, and a baneling nest at the top of the ramp. But so far is able to save this base. If he's able to do so, then he's going to be in a lot better position. But Ghosty is not going to let up the aggression anytime soon here. He's got 10 more on the way, 4 banelings as well, morphing in right underneath Safety Overlord. And it's really going to be coming down to the control of Yakov. He's completely said no to the natural. He's just going to let that one go for right now, because he knows his opponent isn't going to really have one. So that'll go down without a hitch. But this isn't enough here. Ghosty needs to get more. He wants those workers in the main base. He's currently down half the worker supply. But the Queen getting caught out of position. The banelings do go down, however. The slowlings holding the ramp as best they can. This is actually not the best position to fight in as Yakov, but now he does get a bit of a surround going and into the main base. He actually canceled speed for his lings, so he's gonna have to fight on the creep as well. Cancel on the spire. He's just gonna remake that. Hide a couple of the lings in the back. Gonna try and get a little bit of damage done. But Yakov right on top of everything. But although he is gonna get the spire for another time, is Ghosty. Good pickoffs here. And in response, he is going to move across the map with some lings of his own, but keep in mind, they are still slow lings. Not much has changed in that regard. It's going to be pretty much one base Muta here at the time. Ghosty still doesn't have his own lair up, which is okay. He's still got a little bit of time because he did get his second hatchery going, and now he is ahead in the worker count. Good control, making sure that he does not lose those banelings to anything but good connections. Gonna get a Spire of his own. Remember, there's only 3 gases taken right now, so there's not going to be as many Mutalisks as Yakov would like right now. That will give Ghosty plenty of time to bank up that gas and respond. Right now, he's actually only on 2 gas, not taking the other 2 just yet. Here we go, the Mutalisks now out. They're not really going to have any room to maneuver, but we'll have to see. Ghosty is paying attention, I believe, so he should be fine for the time being. His own Mutalisks are going to start popping out in a bit, even getting Carapace for both sides. Okay, he's actually going to go for Corruptors straight away. I actually like that choice. Yeah, not much else gonna be happening for another minute or two. So both sides just gonna really be building up their forces, and, powering up. And I'm really liking the Corruptors over the Mutalisks, as I've said, just because you can zone it out. Corruptors are pretty quick units. Third base down for both players. A lot faster for Yakov, but looks like Ghosty might actually lose his. Gets a cancel on it. That's going to force the Corruptors to come on in. But behind this, once again, Yakov going to get some Corruptors of his own to deal with things. He does get supply block for a short time. Losing that Overlord is a bit painful. Behind this, we got the Hydralisk Den for the defense. And kind of the big thing is it's kind of just very reactionary out of Ghosty. I like it. He's reacting not just to this game, but the whole series. He's seeing what his opponent's been doing, and he's adjusting his playstyle accordingly very well. I think Hydralisks are going to do him a lot better than any other unit right now. Currently quite a few Corruptors on the map. Actually gonna try and jump right on top of them, it looks like. Almost gets a kill. Not quite yet. It's actually gonna be Ghosty who gets the first blood on these Corruptors. Now we'll also have to see when Ghosty does transition into those Hydralisks. Right now, he's just focusing on populating that third base, getting that economy up and running. And we are going to start to see these small little attacks from Yakov that we've seen in the series so far. Just getting some nice little pickoffs, maybe going for the queen. Instead, just going to focus all his energy onto the drones. I don't know why my mouse just did there to miss that. just kind of forcing out those banelings. Now he sees that there are a bunch of Hydralisks out, so now he's got to be thinking, what's my next step? I can't stay on Mutalisks. But for right now, that's actually just going to be his choice. Pure Muta Corruptor with the Lings mixed in as well. I don't know how well that's really going to work for him here. Because he doesn't even really have those ground upgrades. As you can see, he's really been neglecting those just so he can get that higher Mutalisk count. Now here we go, the big fight. The Banelings gonna try and warp right in. That is a ton of Banelings. These Hydralisks are having some trouble with them. The splits are pretty good, however, so a lot of them will stay alive. The Mutalisk count not really big enough to deal with this anymore, so the Hydras will back on out, but the Mutalisks severely lacking right now. It's gonna be all down to the Mutalisks. Or not the Mutalisks, but the Banelings and the Zerglings to deal with this next wave. He does get the 4th base, however, so a nice pick off there. Keep in mind, Hydralisks, they're very good units, but they're kind of like a glass cannon. They can put out a lot of damage, DPS, but if they're not covered by something, they're not going to do as well. Trying to focus down those Banelings before they get on top. But 19 workers going down here. Ghosty is starting to see a couple of cracks in his armor. And while he's certainly not dead, there's just a lot of things that could go wrong here for him now that his worker count is so low. Yeah, like that. Picking up, getting some of his overlords picked off. It's not going to supply block him, but that's 200 minerals that you need to remake. More Hydras on the way, a couple of Infestors as well. I don't think they have the upgrade, so they're actually not going to have the energy to do a fungal just yet. Yeah, just what I was expecting. Man is going to be rolling in again. Good surround by the Lings, just going to do what they can. Picks off the Infestors as well. And that's kind of why you want to get that upgrade. Just so they do have a fungal ready when they pop. That's actually going to be it for Ghosty. He goes down to match point. And you can see he's making the right moves. He's getting the units that he needs. Unfortunately, they're just not doing what he needs them to do. So, beautiful splits, by the way, on those Hydralisks. I really liked them. They were fantastic. Unfortunately, there was just so many Banelings that got rolled over. But I am going to do our last sponsor shout out, guys. Last one, I promise. I want to tell you about our guys over at Devour. Now, Devour always uses real meats, real food, real ingredients. They're very good and they are very nice to just snack on. They're very good for a meal. If you're trying to lose weight, I highly recommend it as well, just because it's got fresh ingredients. Like this one has red peppers, chicken, as well as some good cheeses, just a creamy sauce, and bon appetit, guys. The one good thing about being sponsored by a food who wants you to eat is that you can have a snack during these series. But yeah, potential last game in this series, but Ghosty will have the chance to bring it back. He just needs to win the next 4. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. But yeah, it's going to be Purity and Industry. This is, I think, the most interesting map in the pool. Both of the starting locations just very close by air, but once you get into those inhibitor zones, all bets are off. There is no real way to take advantage of that. We've seen Mutalisks be a very popular choice these last couple of games, but I don't think that's going to be the case this time, and that's just my personal opinion. These guys being crazy, so we will have to see. Excuse me once again. Without further ado, he's looking to close it out, playing for Off Pro Gaming. It is Young Yakov up here in the top left. And his opponent, Magdeburg Gaming. He's looking to bring it back. He needs all of your energy, so send it to him in the chat. It is Ghosty. One spawning pool, 2 spawning pools. Everybody gets a spawning pool here. Now, Ghosty, he did great work with his early spawning pool last time, and Yakov has made it his quintessential go-to in the earlier games. We'll have to see who's gonna be better at it. Behind it, Yakov will be expanding, as will Ghosty, so neither side going to go fully all in off it, I believe. Ghosty, though. Okay, very early Spore Crawler. That is a huge investment. And it's actually going to pay off. Look at that. Instantly supply blocked as the Lings moving across the map, looking to get just meeting on up. Ghosty, you absolute madman. That was awesome. So both sides know that it was roughly the same time getting a spawning pool here. Ghosty, once again, he doesn't have any gas. Young Yakov, though, doesn't have enough for speed. Will he actually go for it now that he has 100? Now he doesn't have enough minerals. He's just pumping out so many Lings. Ghosty, though, taking a few poor engagements. He still has quite a few Lings to deal with that, and actually it's completely even in army supply if you take a look here. But the problem is the clock is now ticking for Ghosty across the map as speed is started, and yeah, once that comes in, Yakov's Lings will be able to just hunt him down a lot easier. Behind all of this, we do see Ghosty droning up, so not going to commit to this too heavily, but we do see Yakov 8 more Lings on the production tab. He might not know that just yet. Ghosty far ahead in terms of that worker count, and he's just going to look to play it safe and defensive. big question is, will he just deny the low ground and back off? Speed is now kicking in. As you can see, Yakov just absolutely decimating the position, but he can't get up the ramp because of the queens. He's going to get one pick off to the right, but there is plenty here to defend. He's got 10 more lanes coming across the map, while more and more coming through. But now the Spore Crawlers, they may be zoned out, but they start to go down here, and the reinforcements for Ghosty going to get taken out as well. All of the drones are pulled. He wants and he needs to defend this low ground position, he feels. So far, no drones actually going down here. The reinforcements starting to pick them off, but only 2 going down. This is still such a huge commitment that you need to do more. Just little pokes here and there. These drones, they're getting weaker, but he's not really getting the finishing blows, which is the most important part. If he would have gone for a Baneling Nest, he would have been able to do more. But behind this, he is droning up and looking to take the lead in that regard. The Spore Crawlers, or Spine Crawlers, now in the low ground. Honestly, I'd say go for the main base. Just kind of force your opponent to go around and just show him that you are the more mobile player. But yeah, now he does get almost all the way cleaned up, and he's just going to back out of there for 5 drones. Not the best damage that you can get done, but I mean, it's what he can do, really. Behind this, he does now have double the work count of his opponent. So overall, I'm really liking his position. Ghosty still has a good chance to get back into it, though, as Yakov is backing up and not going to continue the attack. We do have that third base going down as well, but will that be a front for another all-in? Baneling Nest is on the way. Once that finishes up, I assume we will see another swell of Lings. It's all down to how Yakov wants to continue from here. As Ghosty, he really just needs to force himself to make all these workers, and I worry that that's going to hurt him a bit. As yeah, there we go. We see 24 more Lings. That hatchery might just be a front here now that Ghosty's seen it. Don't really see a transition for Ghosty just yet because, again, he can't afford to transition. I don't think he's seen this coming either. The Banelings now on creep, going to get some as good connections as he can. Goes straight for the main base, forces his opponent to move on around, I think. Now Ghosty is in a world of hurt right now. One score going down, 11 workers dying as well. And just nothing on the production tab really for Ghosty. He's losing all of his drones. That is gonna be it. Young Yakov with a straight 4-0 sweep. GG. Excellent games out of both sides there. We saw some very innovative Zerg styles from both of them, and just excellent gameplay overall. Congratulations to all the players in this series and in this tournament. I'd like to thank you all as well for tuning in. So many things you can do to support this tournament, as well as all the other Alpha X tournament stuff. If you look down at the bottom, you can see the Patreon. The Patreon is patreon.com/AlphaXSC2. If you head on there, you can support this for $1 or $5 to become premium members and help keep tournaments like this running. Let me do a last shout out to our patrons that we have. We've got 3 big ones that I'd like to tell you about: Alessander, Merrick, Slabasiki, Rowan, and Rhetoricky for $25 donated this season. That is immense. It helps out more than you guys know, And once again, thank you guys for tuning in. This has been the Alpha X Junior Championships, and we will see you at the next big event.